Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of the media, good evening. Thank you very much for joining the press conference of the launch of renminbi retail bonds of the Bank of East Asia China Limited. Before we begin, may I request our guests to turn off your mobile phones and pagers to facilitate smooth progress of the briefing. Thank you. First, I would like to introduce to you our senior executives and guests on stage. The third gentleman from left is Dr. David K.P. Lee, Chairman and Chief Executive of the Bank of East Asia. Dr. Lee is also Chairman of the Bank of East Asia China. The third gentleman from right is Mr. Chang K-Chung, Vice Chairman of the Bank of East Asia China. The second gentleman from right is Mr. Brian Lee, Deputy Chief Executive of the Bank of East Asia. The second gentleman from right is Mr. Samson Lee, Deputy Chief Executive and Chief Investment Officer of the Bank of East Asia, representing the joint lead managers of EEA. On the far right is Mr. Kwan Tat Chong, Executive Director and Chief Executive of the Bank of East Asia China. Both Mr. Chan and Mr. Kwan represent the issuer, EEA China. On the far left is Ms. Karen Lan, Head of Capital Markets, Global Markets, Bank of China, Hong Kong Limited. Ms. Lan represents the joint lead manager at BOC Hong Kong. To start the press conference, may we invite Dr. David Lee to say a few words. Dr. Lee, please.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, good evening. On behalf of the boards of directors and my colleague at the Bank of East Asia Limited and Bank of East Asia China Limited, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to this press conference for the launching of BA China renminbi bond offering. We very much appreciate your presence here today. This launch marks the first time that a mainland subsidiary of a Hong Kong-based enterprise will issue retail renminbi bonds in Hong Kong. We regard this as a truly significant event, not only for BA China, but for our country and for Hong Kong as well. As more renminbi bonds are issued in Hong Kong, the renminbi is gaining increasing stature as an international currency. Further, Hong Kong is gaining increasing recognition as an important international financial center. We hope that many more bond issues by other leading institutions will follow in the future. This retail bond offering provides Hong Kong public with a new opportunity to diversify their investment. BA China will use the proceeds from this offering to support renminbi lending as well as working capital and for general corporate purposes. BA China has grown very quickly in recent years and now operating a total of 67 outlets on the mainland. This offering will allow BA China to expand and diversify funding base. This underlines the bank's prudent approach to managing liquidity risk within the Bank of East Asia Group. Many people have worked very hard to make this launch possible, including the Central People Government and the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region Government and the regulators in Beijing and in Hong Kong. I am very grateful to everyone concerned for their generous assistance, guidance and support. I also wish to thank our advisors and partners in this launch, and most particularly to our joint lead manager and book runner, Bank of China Hong Kong Limited. And most of all, I would like to thank the investing public. This launch would not have been possible without their clear interest in this issue. We very much hope that the issue will be warmly received by institutional and individual investors alike. Once again, may I thank all of you for your attendance. And before we answer your question, I would like to invite Bank of China, Ms. Karen Leung, and Bank of East Asia China, Ms. Kwan, to give a brief presentation on BA China's bond issue. Karen, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. And let us invite Ms. Karen Lai, Head of Capital Markets, Global Markets, BOC Hong Kong, to give us an introduction of the bonds. Ms. Lai, please.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. I would like to quickly run through with the audience the offering summary of the subject renminbi bonds. Issue will be Bank of East Asia China Limited, which is rated exactly the same and its parent long-term A- and short-term single A2, although outlook is negative. It is really strong credit background. The issue size of this renminbi bond issue will be a minimum of 1 billion renminbi, including both the retail and institutional tranches. And the subscription price being at par per bond will be 10,000 renminbi. It is the denomination, 10,000 basically. The issue date will be 4 business days after the close of the subject issue, being the 23rd of July 2009, with a maturity of 2 years falling on the 23rd of July 2011. The interest rate is 2.8% per annum, being payable semi-annually. The use of proceeds, as Dr. Lee mentioned, will be used to fund the renminbi loans and for working capital and general corporate purposes. Joint lead managers will be are actually the Bank of China Hong Kong Limited and the Bank of East Asia Limited, and there will be no separate listing of the issues. And there will be no separate issue rating for the renminbi bonds as well. The governing law of the issue will be Hong Kong AZR law. Thank you. I'll now pass on the mic to Mr.